Hey guys, Crypto Spook here,
And this is Moriarty.
and today we are bringing you a game called Astroneer, which is in early access.
It's an early access space exploration, Minecrafty buildy type of game, only instead of voxels, you've got like a Play-Doh-y kind of environment. It's a strange game to explain, but it's a super fun game. It just doesn't have enough yet.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. There's not enough content in the game at this time, but everything does click together, and that's nice.
They did a good job, and this is probably the first early access game that I've played where I went, wow, this is really, really good. On top of that, it has co-op, which is just incredible for me.
And the primary reason we even picked the game up to begin with.
Without co-op, we never would have purchased it in the first place, and we did actually purchase this.
It was $20, and I feel good about paying $20 for it.
Yeah, even in its current early access state, I am okay with having paid $20.
Actually, I think I gave it to you as a gift.
And I am okay with you having paid $20.
Oh, well, I guess that's a thing.
The co-op really is great, and they've done a good job with it. It works. There's some sort of a dropout once you get to 3 players that is absolutely abysmal. It is completely unplayable. But at 2 players, it's okay. And at 1 player, single player, this game runs fantastically. It's really, really well done, and it's a lot of fun. It's still got the exact same problems that other early access survival type of games have, which is that there is no end game.
There's no enemies.
No massive projects, and once you get a couple of things such as the fuel condenser and the trading depot, you don't even really need to explore anymore, which is kind of a bummer. Because the game is fun and there's a lot of cool stuff there, and everything's completely procedurally generated, which is awesome. There's just not enough there yet.
It's unfortunate. I feel like it cheapens the game that you can get the fuel dispenser out there, the fuel condenser, and you can buy all the resources that you would need to go exploring for it.
See, I'm almost okay with it because it requires time, and time is still an investment. You can't really get that much, and you do lose a percentage of what you're putting into it, so I don't think it's a totally game-breaking aspect. However, I do think it is game-breaking in the current form because of the fact that there is nothing else to do. There's no reason to explore except to build. And once you've built the top couple of items, there's no reason to continue the game anymore other than, okay, let's go to another planet. And why would you even need to go to another planet in its current state? There's really no big overarching anything. There's no reason to go anywhere. There's no reason to do anything. It's really a giant time waster, which is okay. It is a time wasting game.
You know what it reminds me of? Slime Rancher.
It's a little bit of the Slime Rancher there as well. Slime Rancher had the exact same problems. Once you've built things, there's nothing else to do other than just kind of waste time. And as they continued to build and put new things in, yeah, you jump in, you play it for a half an hour, and you go, oh, this is that new thing. But there's still no end game there. There's no reason to be building for it. What I actually think that this game particularly needs, what I think would make this game really cool, is a massive project, a solar system project that requires truly massive amounts of goods. But in order to enable that, to allow that to be, you would need to include automation, sort of like in Factorio. So you could set up a automation on each base, which would give you a reason to have multiple bases.
So allow me to circle back on what you said about the co-op being slightly buggy. I think that may be tied to upload bandwidth or download bandwidth or something along those lines, because when I was hosting, Moriarty didn't complain about any significant issues. However, when I joined his server, I had a lot of issues. Just, it seemed like a lot of the important stuff that I needed to see, I couldn't see, couldn't get to it. But that could also be because he built out pretty much the entire world in his single player campaign that I joined. So maybe it's just the more you build, the more you expand, the more assets need to be transferred between the server and the client.
I had actually read that there were several complaints that the tethers that you put across the planet were drastically dropping frame rates for various people. So I'm sure that there is some sort of a loss with regards to these large amounts of buildings, and especially once you start going into outer space and building there, and you start going on multiple planets and building there, and now you've got 2 or 3 people in your universe. I can see how that would eventually become very difficult, especially for somebody who doesn't have perhaps 100 megabits upload like Crypto does.
Maybe what you need is something like a chunk system, as they have in Minecraft, where you can do certain chunks of things.
I'm not sure what they can do, but it is highly detrimental. When we brought in a friend of ours who had never played the game before, his first experience in this game was jumping into a very, very laggy, very, very buggy, very, very broken online online experience, and I'm not entirely sure he'll ever play the game again. And that's really disappointing.
Because it is a really good game.
It's good. That's the thing. Like, I can fully recommend this right off the top. It is a fun game. It's enjoyable. It's worth the money, which is a rare thing to be able to say anymore. It just needs a lot more content before it's great. And I really do think that this could be a great game. I can see this being the type of co-op game that you just jump into and play. And the co-op really is the key part there. I need to absolutely 100% specify that the reason that this game is so good is because there is co-op. If it were just me playing on a planet building up things, I'd get bored very quickly, like you would in any game where there's no enemies and no objective.
There is one thing to say about there being no enemies and no objective. If we're going to compare this to No Man's Sky, there are enemies, but they're entirely lackluster, and there's no real reason for them or anything to do with them. So I'm glad they didn't add something like that where it's just, oh, there's enemies here, they're going to kill you, there's no reason for them to be here at all.
Right. So No Man's Sky has their sentinels, which are just random bots on every planet that will decide to attack you or not attack you randomly. This definitely doesn't have that problem because it doesn't have enemies. It definitely has environmental deaths. You will die. There are these weird gas plants that will just wreck your life repeatedly, and there's things like that that are in the game that will absolutely kill you. There's the oxygen that you need to keep and you'll run out of power. There's definitely things there, which is fine if there was more cool stuff to be built. But really what it comes down to is the only reason I was expanding out to other planets after a few hours, and I ended up playing this for 15 hours before I ever decided, okay, I'd done everything. Once I hit that 15-hour mark, I had nothing else to do. Altogether, I would say that this is No Man's Sky, but done well, and if No Man's Sky had come out in this state as an early access game, it would be fantastic. So this game definitely has a lot going for it. I think that's fair to say.
It's also a very pretty game.
It's very pretty. I love the skies. I love going into space. I like what they did with it. They've made a very good looking game. And it is fun, which is the most important part of any game. It is fun. I can see a lot of really good things that they can do with this in the future, and I'm really excited to see the updates that they do. It is early access, and I'm willing to say, okay, I'm prepared to wait a little while to see what kind of vision you have.
I really liked exploring the tech tree, and building from the ground up left me with the feeling that I had when I first played Minecraft all those years ago, where I didn't really understand what was going on. I had a few tools, and they told me, hey, you should use these, and they gave you a couple tool tips that said, try doing this, try digging in the ground, and don't run out of oxygen, and it was just an entirely new experience that left me interested in the game and wanting to know more, and basically just having a great time. So yeah, I absolutely want to see this game get completed. I don't want this game to sit in alpha for forever, basically.
I definitely don't want to see them DB9 this. I want to see them take this and make it a good game. And I think it's already got the basis for that. It looks good. It plays well. So there you go, guys. That's Astroneer. We like it a lot. I hope you'll like it a lot. Let us know if you've tried it out. Have you experienced any of the multiplayer co-op bugs, latency issues that we did? If you like it, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. Be sure to subscribe, check out the Patreon.
And we'll see you on the next one.